and you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
It's not the great value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
This questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NFL Opinions of the Week, and we are finally getting to it. I think it was all the sports happening in July, Austin, delayed our top 10s of getting to these top 10s.
Yeah, it really did, and I'm excited for the season to start, but still, we've been waiting a little bit for this video, and I know I have as well. So I'm excited to see. Well, I don't have any honorable mentions. I just think that because we're doing 20, I didn't need to include anybody else. But also, for everybody's note, this does include every special team position. If it's somebody on the list that also plays wide receiver or corner or another position, this only takes their special team value added, not necessarily all the others. So to keep it fair to all the special teamers, but this includes kickers, punters, kick returners, punt returners, like all returners, pure special teamers, and long snappers. So, Kevin, let's start with your number 20. Who is the 20th best special teamer this upcoming year?
My 20th is Will Lutz, the kicker for the Broncos.
Okay. I'm not going to have that many true special teamers, but this guy was a first-team All-Pro last year for the Broncos, whose team was very good defensively. And his name is Devon Key. He was a first-team All-Pro as a special teamer, and I wanted to give him a note. I do think that for some of these positions that it does make it a little bit more difficult to be on a list like this because you don't add that many plays. But I made sure to add somebody from every single position group is here because I think it's important.
Yes. He's on my list. I gave some love to the specific special teamers, so I'm a little bit higher, but I understand it. Who's your 19?
So my 19, again, this can sometimes be a little bit tough because some of these positions are very hard to actually determine the value. I went with Andrew DePaula. He's been a Pro Bowler, not last year, but the 3 years before that as a long snapper. He was an All-Pro second teamer last year and an All-Pro first team year before that, second team before that, first team before that. So he's made a lot of All-Pros, a lot of Pro Bowls, but again, he's a long snapper. So I think I only have 2 on my list that are long snappers.
I do have 2. DePaula is one of them, but I'll get to him in a little bit. My 19 is Chase McLaughlin, the kicker for the Bucks. He had I think he had a long of 65 this year and 32 of 38. Not bad. It was just I really like these. I have a lot of kickers pretty high, and a lot of them are pretty young. So that was just how it drew. But he's still a solid kicker.
Yeah. He definitely is. So yeah, who's your 18?
My 18 is a long snapper, Ross Maxtick with Jacksonville.
Okay, I have him on my list a little bit higher than you. We'll go to my 18. My 18 is Jason Myers, the kicker for the Seattle Seahawks. There's a lot of great kickers. I have so many kickers on this list. So some of these guys, if you don't hear a guy that you wanted to be on this list, I probably just couldn't fit them because there's so many great ones. But yeah, that's my 18. So next is 17. Yeah, so 17, I have J.K. Scott. He's a punter for the Chargers. He hasn't made a Pro Bowl yet, but he is, according to Pro Football Reference and a lot of other pages, extremely good. So he's low on the list because he doesn't have necessarily the backing of awards, but I still think, again, these are predictions for the 2026 season. So maybe J.K. Scott does get one this year.
Is not on my list, but I do have a returner at 17, and that to me is Marcus Jones with the Patriots. So I think he did well last year in that role as a special teamer, especially returning punts, and I think he'll continue doing that again. So we'll go into 16 for me, which is where I have Andrew DePaula, the long snapper. He was on this last year, so he's becoming a consistent long snapper and has been one. So I wanted to put him higher than Ross Mastic. So DePaula's at 16 for me.
Yeah, I actually have Mastic obviously higher than DePaula because he's been a little bit more consistent over the past couple of years. But we'll go into my next guy, and it is Marcus Jones. He is my 16. He's a player that, like you mentioned, had some big plays for a Patriots team that made it pretty far. I mean, I have a lot of guys on this list made the playoffs. I mean, if you think about it, Marcus Jones, Devin Key, Jason Myers, a lot of these guys had playoff. And I do think that special teams, I mean, if you look at the 2000, I think it was 8 or 2009, I think it was 2009 actually, or maybe it was 2010. It was either 08, 09, or 10 Chargers had one of the best teams, offense and defense of all time, but their special teams were so bad that it lost them so many points. Special teamers, as a Packers fan, I can tell you, really do have effect on the game.
Yeah, special teams is important, and you can see if you just look at that Patriots, how they always had, I can't remember his name, but they always had, I can't remember his name.
Matt Slater.
And that's one of the best teams. They had a consistent guy with special teams. Like, that's our special teams guy. So that shows how important he is. But so that's your 16 is Marcus Jones, right?
Yes.
Okay, who's your 15?
My 15 is AJ Cole. He is the punter for the Raiders. He hasn't been a Pro Bowler over the past couple of years, but I still think he's one of the best punters in the league. He just hasn't had the opportunity, I think, some of these years to actually be a Pro Bowler because he's not been on good teams. And I think that he's been a 3-time Pro Bowler before. Last year, he had 71 punts, and he has the all-time record for yards per punt. So he has a leg on him.
Yeah, he's amazing. I have him a little bit higher, but my 15 is Ray Davis. Is a running back for the Bills, but also did well returning and was an All-Pro this past year. So that's why he's at 15. My 14 is Kevontae Turpin as a returner. I don't know how I feel about him. I don't think he does too much. I think he can get overhyped at times. But he's a solid player, so that's why he's in the top 20. But I didn't have him higher because I feel like other players to me provide a bigger burst. I think Turpin just has some moments.
I have him a lot higher than you, and there's a reason why I'll get to it eventually. But who's your next player? Or is that your...
Well, so that was 14. I don't know if you said you're 14.
Yeah, so my 14 is Ross Mazik for the Jaguars. So he has a long snapper. I think he's the best long snapper in the league. It's close between a couple guys, but his performances have really, really impacted positively on his team. And I think that the way that having a consistent snap every time is pretty important in my opinion.
Yes. And to the guy I'm going to talk about for my 13 is Michael Dixon, which goes to the point just how important special teams is, especially with a good offense. Seattle had a great punter last year with Michael Dixon. Earned some All-Pro nods last season, so that's why he's at 13 for me.
Yeah, my 13, who did you say it was?
My 13 is Michael Dixon.
Oh, okay. I have Dixon higher than you, but I have Parker Washington at my 13. He had 2 punt return touchdowns last year. The year before that, he had a punt return touchdown. He doesn't do any kick returning, really, but having 3 punt returns over the last 2 seasons, he had 25 attempts for 341 yards. That's pretty impressive. And he doesn't get that many actual touches, but when he does touch the ball in special teams, he makes a play.
He did not make my list, but I understand why you have him on there. My 12 is another returner, and that's Rashid Shaheed. Even though he's a great wide receiver, he does make some punt returns and kick returns. Uh, so, and I want to say he had a punt return for a touchdown last year after he got traded to the Seahawks. So, he to me is a dynamic player, and that's why he's of course a wide receiver, but he also can show in the return game.
Yeah, my number 12 is Devin Duvernay. Duvernay had over 1,000 yards as a kick returner last year for the first time in his career. He didn't have to score a touchdown, and he has been a Pro Bowler since 2022. But he did have 1,300 all-purpose yards, and almost all of those came from a returner. He's going to be playing for the Cardinals this year, and I feel like they're going to have a lot of opportunities to return kicks.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm curious to see how teams. It's been interesting with the shift back to kind of teams or the NFL trying to focus more on kick return and punt returns. I am curious what they do with Duvernay, or if they make him try to make more as a wide receiver. So we can go into my 11, and that to me is where I have AJ Cole with the Raiders. He's just a consistent punter, and he doesn't get a lot of love because it is the Raiders, and they have not played well in a while.
Yeah. I think that we'll see how Duvernay gets used. Did you say you're 11?
Yeah, AJ Cole.
AJ Cole, okay, yeah. AJ Cole is also a great player. Well, I also have a punter, and this is Baltimore's punter, Jordan Stout. Stout has been a Pro Bowler before. He was last year as All-Pro as well. They're obviously hoping that he's on the Giants now, but last year he was on Baltimore. So he followed John Harbaugh, who, as you know, was a special teams coach. So
Yes, he was.
he's bringing his guy with him.
Yes, Jordan Stout would be my honorable mention. He did not make my list, but he's a fantastic punter.
Yeah, first team All-Pro and Pro Bowler. I thought
so
he
good.
deserved a nod. I'll go into my 10. My 10 is Chris Boswell. He's just a piece of consistency for the Steelers, and he didn't have his best season last year, but he still is very, very good and very, very consistent. And if there's a player that I would want to take a long kick to win the game, Boswell is high up on that list. He's probably not one, but he's high up.
Yeah, I have him higher up than you because yes, he's getting older, but to me, he's still good and he's consistent. I would trust him. But at 10, I do have a kicker, and to me, that's Cameron Dicker with the Chargers. He's, to me, a developing kicker. He's been in for a little bit, but he's just a really solid kicker. So he deserved to be in the top 10 for me.
Yeah.
So I'd go into my 9, which is Del'Shawn Phillips, who is a special teamer. Getting that love to him with the Chargers. Made the All-Pro list last year. Or his past season.
You said who?
Del'Shawn Phillips.
Okay. My number 9 is Michael Dixon. I know you had him a little bit below. But both Seattle, I almost put Torrey Horton on here too because he did return a punt, but he's also been dealing with some injuries. But or Rashid Shaheed, I don't have him on the list either. But Michael Dixon and Jason Myers are both on this list, and that just shows again how important this position group is.
Yep. Jason Myers did not make my list, but he is a very good kicker. Top 10 is where I filled a lot of kickers. As we get into 8, and that's where I have Jake Bates with the Lions. Entering his 3rd year. His 2nd year was still good, but not as good as the other kickers. And to me, I think we're really entering some really good kickers. And there are a lot of young guys who just can boot it.
Yeah. You said Jake Bates, right?
Yeah, Jake Bates.
Yeah,
at 8.
Bates unfortunately did not make my list, but there's just so many guys I wanted to have, and 20 is almost not enough for special teamers. But you have to stop the number somewhere. My number 8 is Isaiah Williams. Isaiah Williams was amazing this past year for the Jets, and the Jets had one of the best special teams groups of all time. I don't know if you knew that, Kevin. If you include the kicker, who I do have on this list, and the special teams, they had one of the best special teams in NFL history, but their offense and defense were both horrible, so they didn't win many games.
Yeah, the Jets, none of the Jets players made my list. I understand you having them there. It is a tough list to make. So who's your 7?
My 7 is Shamir DK. He was a player that was amazing last year. He led the league in all-purpose yards because of how many return yards he had. He was a rookie last year out of Florida, and now he's going into his second year. He also had a relatively productive year as a receiver, but 2 punt return touchdowns, 400 punt return yards, and almost 1,600 kick return yards. That'll get it done. I mean, return yards just alone, he was encroaching on the 2,000 mark on those by themselves.
Yeah, I believe I have him a little bit higher than you. He's the Broncos punt returner, right?
No, he's Titans.
Okay, maybe I can put that. Yep, that is. Yep, he is the Titans. I'm a little bit higher, so we're the same guy. I misread where that was at. My 7 is Will Reichard, the kicker for the Vikings.
I have him on my list too.
He's very good. So he's my 7. But my 6 is someone you mentioned earlier. I gave him some more love since he is a full-time special teamer, and that is Devin Key.
Okay. I get that. I wanted to have him on the list, but I was going to have too many guys because they don't make too many plays on the year, but I understand and respect him having being on the list. My next guy is Nick Folk. This is an amazing player, Kevin. And I know you may not have him on your list, but I promise you, over the past 3 seasons, there's barely been any kickers better than him. Over the last 3 years, 23, 24, 25, how many kicks do you think Nick Folk has missed?
Oh, I think I know. Probably like 5.
He's missed 3. He's missed 1 kick each year. He's 29 of 30, 21 of 22, and 28 of 29 last year at a 96.6 clip. He's also only missed 2 extra points during that time span, and none over the last 2 years. Sure, he's not going to make many from 60, but if you're within 55 yards, it is a guarantee that Nick Folk is making the kick. And I honestly think that's an underrated aspect. Sometimes you don't necessarily need the kicker that is going to be kicking it from 60 plus if you know that a 50-yarder is actually a cakewalk for him. And that's why I think Nick Folk is just a remarkable kicker. 7 of 8 from 50 plus last year, 6 of 6 the year before that, 5 of 6 the year before that. He makes every 50-yarder he basically attempts except for 1 each year. And he's a remarkable player. This year he's going to be on the Falcons. Last year he was on the Jets. So the Falcons actually the Falcons just have 1 player, I think. But yeah, I think Nick Folk is an amazing player. This is why he's playing until 41. He'll turn 42 this year.
Wow. Yeah, he's been a consistent kicker and been in the league for a while. So it's very interesting. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll go into 5, where I have Kami Fairbairn, the kicker for the Texans. He is a guy that has a leg, but has also played really well and not missed too many kicks. So that's why, to me, he's enters the top 5.
Yeah, I have on my list a little bit higher than you. My number 5 is Cam Little, the kicker for the Jaguars. Little has had a very good start to his career, including a record long, 70-yard kick that happened in the preseason, but also a record long that happened during last year that was 68 yards. He only made, 88% of his kicks last year, but still, that's remarkable when you're considering how far away he can actually kick the football. And he only missed 1 extra point. He's an amazing player, one of the best kickers in the sport.
Yeah, I will get to him in just a minute. But my 4 is who you mentioned before with the Titans, Chimere DK. He was a fantastic returner, and that's why I put him in the top 5 because of all the stats you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. My number 4 is KaVontae Turpin. Kevin, the amount of return yards KaVontae Turpin adds to the team is insane. Do you know how many return yards he had last year? Kick return only?
I do not.
1,800. 1,814. By far leading the league. And that's why he was a Pro Bowler. He's been a Pro Bowler 3 of his 4 seasons in his career, and that's why he gets yards. And I have to put him up here because adding that many yards to a team, even if it is just kick return yards, I still think is valuable. His all-purpose yards last year was 2,300. And I know that's mostly special teams, and he did have a decent year as a receiver, especially for his role. But I have to include him on here just because of how many yards he can attain. He's led the league in kick return yards the last 2 seasons. He has 2 career return touchdowns, 1 punt, 1 kick. He's been a Pro Bowler, like I said, 3 of the last 4 years. And I don't think that's just because of he came from the UFL. I think that's because he is an elite returner.
Yeah, I'm probably one of his haters. I just don't like him. I think there are moments where he makes a wrong turn, where it could be better. But he is fast, so I understand it. But we can go into the top 3, and for me, 3 is where I have Cam Little, because, like you said, this guy continues to grow. He has the record long. He did it in preseason, but also in the regular season. To me, he's a young kicker, and he's developing, and he's going to have another great year this year, which puts him in the top 3 for me.
Yeah, I'm a little bit lower, but we'll go into Ricard. Ricard had an amazing season last year, and while he has missed a couple games with injury, I believe, on his career, in 2024, last year he didn't play. I mean, he didn't miss any games. He was 33, 35, kicked a 62-yarder. His only 2 misses were from 50-plus. He was the first-team All-Pro. He's been amazingly solid for this team, and I think Will Ricard is a top 3 kicker in the league.
Yeah, I can understand that. There are a lot of young kickers, Bates, Ricard, and Little. And then we'll go into 2, and this is where I have Chris Boswell. He's a fantastic kicker to me. He's been consistently doing it. And yes, it wasn't a great year last year, but I think he's going to do it again. The Steelers rely on him a lot to win games. And it'll be interesting to see how McCarthy uses him compared to Tomlin.
Yeah, it is true. They definitely use him a lot, and especially in big moments. My number 2 is Kiami Fairbairn. Fairbairn has been a player for the Texans that's been a major part of just being clutch. Last year, he made 44, which is the most in the league, attempted the most in the league at 48, 91.7%. He can kick him. He's only made a couple 61, or his longest 61 in his career, and he only did that during 1 season. So he's, again, not one of those guys that's going to make it from super, super far, but his consistency is key, and that's why I think, all 4 of his misses were from 50-plus, and again, that's what I think is extremely valuable in a kicker. Like, if he does not miss any long, or if he only misses long kicks, then when you get in a certain range, it's a guarantee. And that's why I value guys like Kiami Fairbairn and Nick Folk. But I'll go into my number 1. It's the same number 1 you're going to have. A generational player. And I don't use that word. I don't use that word lightly. Brandon Aubrey is the best kicker of all time, in my opinion. I think you can say that at this point. At least when we're talking about regular season. Sure, maybe he hasn't had any clutch playoff moments yet, and that for Cowboys fans, that's hopeful that you see that in the future. But if we're talking regular season, the effect that Brandon Aubrey can add to the Cowboys organization, I think, cannot be overstated.
Yeah, he is incredible. I would say he is. I love the love for Brandon Aubrey. He's awesome. I do want him to set the record that Cam Little currently has. I want Brandon Aubrey to set that, and then. But it's been amazing to hear his story and see what he has done. So he truly does help the Cowboys a lot of ways, and it's fun hearing him talk about how he'll kind of use soccer ideas when doing kickoff to mess with the ball and mess with his trajectory, and then he's done well. And he does attempt really long kicks, and I feel like Shoddy does a lot with kind of letting him do that compared to McCarthy a few years ago.
Yeah, he is an absolute cannon, and they let him use it.
Yeah, so let us know your thoughts in the comments. Be on the lookout for more videos. We'll be pumping them out soon enough. So thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.